Kaleo Ekabo. It's time for the Movement Ministry. Hey, getting those sacred bodies moving. So sacred, you're so sacred. Give thanks for our bodies. Give thanks for this time of moving together. And we are so delighted to have Oyabunmi with us tonight. I do well. Yes. Blessings to you. Good to see you. Hey, getting ready to stretch it out, pose it out. We give thanks for all of the ability to move our bodies. Yes, Kahisa, grand evening to you. Dr. Varlisha, so glad to see you. Give thanks. I do well. Hey, give thanks. Hey, Honey Pot, good to see you. Hey, Medulla at Cabo. Give thanks. We are so happy to be together. As always, we are ready. I do well. Give thanks. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ase Ire Movement Ministry. We are so happy to have you here with us this evening. And we are extra specially glad to have with us Oyabunmi, our featured practitioner for the week. I see you, Sister Duria, coming in, joining us. We're so grateful for the Movement Ministry. This is Ase Ire's newest offering to encourage us to move our sacred bodies, encourage us to get healthier, encourage us to move and enjoy our ara, our bodies, as we know that it is Ire, Ilera. The Ire of health is one of the Ire that we always ask for in the Ifa Orisha tradition. Galaxy, good to see you. Adupueo. We are welcoming today Iya Oyabunmi. She is a priestess of Oyabunmi. Give thanks. She is also a certified yoga practitioner, and she leads wonderful transformative retreats, self-love holidays, which she's going to share a little bit about with us later on. But you know, we like to go right in to our movement. So without further ado, I want to introduce Oyabunmi at Cabo, my sister.
Alafia, Ekasan, Iya, Ekasan, Bogolaye. I do pray so much for allowing me to share with you this evening, and I'm just so excited to be a part of this movement ministry. So I do pray.
Oh, Koto Pueo, we are so grateful for you, and we give thanks to each and every one who's with us. Baba Balogun, Akinyele, blessings. Iya, thank you for coming to share your sacred gifts with us. I turn it over to you.
Yes, well, I do pray. Alafia, everyone. Welcome to this evening's movement ministry. My name is Iya Oyabunmi. As Iya Funayo shared, I'm a priestess of Oya. I became a priestess when I was 8 years old. I am now a spiritual health and wellness consultant, in addition to teaching yoga, sharing traditional West African dance, and a general love of health, whole food, plant-based nutrition, and access to vitality. You can connect with me at vibrantlytransform.com. That's my platform where I share health, wellness, my lifestyle, the things that I do to keep me motivated, the foods that I eat to keep me vibrant, active. I'm a mom of 4, and I'm excited to share a practice this evening that has been extremely transformational for myself. I began my yoga journey back in 2007, and my intention was to begin to partake in this movement in order to expand myself as an African dancer. I wanted to have a warm up, and so I turned to the pathway of yoga, and it turned out to be so much more. And so I'm very excited this evening to share a power down session, as I like to call it, because I am in love with power yoga. And I think that it is an amazing physical vehicle for personal transformation. And so without further ado, everyone come onto your mat, have your water nearby. And I just ask from you that you be in your listening, that you allow yourself to be present, and that you drop whatever expectations you came here with tonight and allow yourself to just be. And in being, we allow one another to also be. So let's all stand. If you are sitting, I'm going to come to stand, and let's move to the top of our mat. So we'll start out our practice this evening getting grounded in our standing posture. So throughout the next 45 minutes, we're going to move on all planes before we lie down on our back and come into a deep rest, which we call Shavasana in yoga. So we'll begin to build our standing posture, and let us bring our awareness to our feet. Bring your heels together and bring your toes. So when you bring your toes together, your heels tend to be slightly apart. Take that posture, heels slightly apart. Your big toes are together touching, if that's accessible to you. And as your feet are together, lift your toes and press down through the ball of your feet. I like to point out 4 corners in the feet. So you have your heel, you have the ball of your foot, and think about rooting down. As you lift your toes, you immediately begin to connect deeper, connect with the mat, and through the mat, making a connection with earth, because we will use that energy from earth to rise up, and we'll use it for our breath. And so we'll continue to build as we're at our feet, toes lifted. As you lift your legs, the muscles in your legs automatically contract. So bringing awareness to the muscles in your legs and bringing your awareness also up your legs. Your toes are lifted. And as a result of that, your ankles have a slight movement. Your inner ankle moves back. Your outer ankle moves down slightly. And as you squeeze your muscles, begin to engage and ignite your muscles, squeezing muscle to bone. Think about the midline of your body and squeeze into the center of your body. Bring your awareness to the bowl that is your waist. And so sometimes as we are thinking about our waist, think about it as a vessel full of water. And I'll turn to the side. And so if you have your rear end poked out too much, it means that your pelvis is tilting forward, and the water in the bowl of pelvis spills out in the front energetically. Also, if you slump, the bowl of your pelvis is now tilting back. And so you're leaking water and energy out of the back. So we want to find a neutral position with our pelvis, with your toes lifted, legs engaged. Scoop your hips forward. And by doing that, the pit of your belly comes in. As the pit of your belly comes in, rise up through your chest. So lift your chest forward. Bring your shoulders up by your ears and roll them back. So you open your chest. Bring your hands alongside you. Let your palms face forward. And allow the position of your neck to be neutral. Set your gaze. So pick a point on the wall in front of you and fix your gaze there. In yoga, we call this drishti, and automatically we come into our drishti, what is our vision, and begin to get in touch with your vision for this evening, your vision for your body, your vision for your health. And now we will begin to integrate our breath. And so for the sake of this practice, we exhale everything out through our mouth. And inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And once again, inhale through your nose. Exhale. As you stand, energetically allow yourself to be fully present in this moment, standing, rooted, toes lifted, muscles ignited. Even your fingertips are alive. So as my fingers point out, bring energy even to your fingertips. And with breath, on your next inhale, we will rise our arms up above us as we look up. Big inhale, look up. And exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. And we begin to move with breath. As you inhale, rise your arms up to the sky, look up. Exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. And we'll take one more. Inhale, rise your arms up to the sky, look up, tilt your head back, take a full opening, and exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. As you set your gaze to your fingertips. And so again, coming back to Drishti and our vision, set a vision for your practice, set a dedication for yourself. My dedication for this time is to be present for you and to talk you into your body to the best of my ability. And I pray that as I use my words to help you move your body, that something will shift. And I inhale, breathe with me, inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths, breathe in and exhale. 1 more breath in and exhale through your mouth. And now let's flow. Inhale your hands up to the sky, look up. And exhale as you bow forward at the waist, bend your knees slightly, let your upper body waterfall down over your legs. You can bring your hands down to the floor if that's available. If not, you can bring them onto your shins. You can bring them onto your thighs, wherever you are, but taking a full forward fold, bending your knees slightly to give you release in your low back. And then coming up to a flat back position. So straighten your legs, bring your hands onto your thighs, bring your shoulder blades back, keep your gaze to the floor. So that same length in your spine that we found while standing, we'll find that here. Taking another breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward to release down. Let's put it all together as we inhale, rise all the way up to stand. I'll turn and face you, look up. And exhale as you bow forward to release down. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. And exhale as you bow forward to release down. This is sun salutation. So we inhale as we rise all the way up, standing, look up, reaching up, growing taller. And then exhale as you let go. Always giving yourself an opportunity to release, to let go. Let go of the breath, let go of the movement. We inhale once again, rise all the way back up to stand, look up. Exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. That was sun salutation A, so we'll move into sun salutation B. Again, coming back to your breath, set your gaze to your fingertips. Keep your eyes open because all of the good things that you want to access, they're happening outside. Life is happening outside of you. Inhale, rise your hands up to the sky, look up. And exhale as you bow forward to release down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Now, sink your hips back, bend your knees as if you were going to sit into a chair and extend your arms up overhead. This is chair pose. My legs are together. Squeeze your legs together. You can lift your toes to bring more engagement to your muscles. Bring your pinkies in towards one another as you spiral your thumbs out. Squeezing your legs together, sinking your hips a little bit lower. And bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center as you bow forward and let that go. Release, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, we're gonna make our way down onto the floor. So first, coming down onto all fours, bringing your hands onto the mat, bringing your knees onto the mat. And we're gonna go down towards a low push-up. So with your knees on the floor, walk your knees back. If you're more agile, come into a high plank position. So high plank is a high push-up, and the modification is that you have your hands as if you're in a push-up, but you drop your knees to the floor. And then lower all the way down to the floor, bringing your chest onto the floor, bringing the tops of your toes flat onto the floor. Your hands are just beneath your shoulders. And as you inhale, press up through your hands, lift your upper body, keep your gaze to the floor for upward facing dog. Your knees are still connected to the mat. Flip your toes under and send your tailbone to the sky for downward facing dog. And downward facing dog is like an upside down triangle. I'll turn to the side so that you can see. So your arms are shoulder width apart. Your legs are hip width apart. You can bend your knees here if that feels good to you. I recommend walking out your knees. So let's alternate our heels down to the floor, which makes it feel like we're walking in place as you're in down dog. And then bringing your knees down to the floor, taking your knees wide, the width of your mat, bringing your toes together at the back of the mat and pushing your hips back as we take child's pose. Bring your forehead down to the mat, let your arms extend up overhead as you allow your forehead to rest. And we'll take 3 breaths here. And child's pose is available at any point. You can always come here at any point, and you're still practicing yoga. Staying in your breath. And we'll take 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale as you come up onto all fours. And step your right foot forward as you rise up to stand on your left knee. So right foot is forward, standing on the left knee. Bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center. And we'll go back into our flow as we inhale, extend your arms up overhead, look up. And exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. So you're just going to prop your left elbow onto your right knee. Your hands remain together in a prayer position. So your torso is twisted now from your low back. Take your gaze to the side. Look in the direction of your hands. Perhaps you take your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then release the twist. So you can bring your hands back down to the mat and let's step the right foot back now and bring the left foot forward. And we'll repeat the same on the left side. Standing on the right knee, the left knee is bent. Bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center. Coming back into your breath. As you inhale, rise your hands up overhead, look up. And exhale, release your hands, prayer position at heart center. Bring your right elbow now onto the left knee. So using the connection with your elbow and your knee to stabilize your low back. Before you begin to turn, keep your gaze to the floor. Your back is straight here. Yeah, and then as you begin to open up from your low back, bringing your left shoulder blade back, tilting your head now to look to the left. And always coming back to your breath. And release the twist. Again, Releasing the twist, bring your hands down to the floor. Step your left knee back and we'll come back up to downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. And as you have your feet hip width apart, now bring your feet together. So your feet are side by side, and let's extend your right foot up towards the ceiling. So you can begin, if this is available for you, with your right knee bent, slightly bending your left knee. Alternatively, you can come down onto all fours and lift your right foot up towards the ceiling. But if you're up and down dog, go ahead and extend your right foot up towards the ceiling. Press through the ball of your foot. So if you're up and down dog, stay here. I'm going to go down onto all fours to demonstrate. So my leg is still extended. I'm pressing through the ball of my foot. You want to drop your right hip because you'll find that that right hip is quite high. And then release. And let's switch. So I'm going to go back up into down dog, step my feet together, and now I'm going to send the left foot up into the sky. And I've given you the modification, up and down dog or on all fours, but extending that leg behind you, pressing through the ball of your foot, and then release that foot down to the floor. Step your feet apart, and let's walk your feet towards your hands, grabbing onto opposite elbows. Let yourself hang forward and ragdoll, so your feet are hip width apart. You're grabbing onto opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. Let your shoulders hang loose. You can walk them out. Bend your knees to release your low back. And we are looking for space so you can sway from side to side if that feels good. You can move your head up and down like yes, side to side like no. But allowing yourself to release in this forward fold. And release your hands down to the mat. Heel toe your feet together. And with a slight bend in your knees, rise up to stand. And we come back up to the top of our mat. And we'll continue with our standing poses now. So we'll start out with some standing balance exercises. Begin in your standing posture, feet together, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Engage your belly, lift your chest, roll your shoulder blades back, let your arms rest beside you, palms facing forward. And we'll begin with eagle pose. So as we're here, take your right foot and step it over the left. So your right foot is now coming to the outside of the left foot. And then bring your right hand onto your left shoulder, left hand onto your right shoulder. Sink your hips back as if you were going to take a seat in a chair. And so you can lift the right toes off of the mat if it's there for you, balancing on the one leg, fixing your vision. Again, come back to your drishti. Roll your shoulder blades back, let them glide down your back. And it's okay if you're wobbly, if you fall out, just come back in and then release, sweep your arms up to the sky, uncross your legs. And let's take it on the next side. This time you're going to cross the left foot over the right, and you're going to do your arms different as well. So left hand goes first on right shoulder, right hand goes last on left shoulder. And again, sink your hips back. Let your shoulder blades drop down your back. Keep your elbows high as you take eagle pose, fixing your gaze, finding that spot on the wall, that vision that keeps you in a state of grace, even as you rock, even as you feel imbalanced and unsteady. With your vision, you can achieve grace off the mat and on the mat. And release, sweep your hands up to the sky, look up, inhale, and exhale your hands together, prayer position at heart center. So we'll move on to our next balancing exercise, standing leg raise. Release your hands down by your side. We'll start with the right foot. So lift your right knee, I'm turned to the side. Lift your right knee. You can leave your arms extended beside you. And again, you always want to go back to those building blocks that I gave you at the beginning with your standing. Yeah, check into your ankles, your knees, your hips. Engage your belly, lift your chest, let your shoulder blades glide down your back. And with your right knee bent, you can take your right hand and hold on to your right knee. If you are more flexible, you can take your peace fingers to your big toe. So wherever you are. And now we're going to open up the knee to the right. So if you have your fingers to your toes, you're just going to open up to the right. Or if you're holding on to your knee, opening your knee to the right and extending your left arm out. And now taking your gaze towards your left hand. So again, this is standing balance. And it's just a practice. If you fall out, come back in, coming back to your breath, staying steady, and then bring that right knee back around to the front. Bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center, and then let that leg extend out behind you as you keep your hands together, prayer position. And now you can stay here, but if there's more space, bringing your left hand down to the mat as you extend your right arm up to the sky for half moon. So wherever you are, honor that, but also find a sense of play, and experimentation in a safe way without judgment, and release, forward fold. And inhale, rise all the way back up to stand. Extend your arms up overhead. Exhale, your hands, prayer position at heart center. Now let's take it on the next side. Now we lift the left knee, dropping your right hand by your side. Take your left hand to your left knee. Coming into your breath. As you're standing, I want you to check into your standing knee and stay out of locking that knee into place. So you want to have a fluid quality. While it's stable and steady, it's also fluid. You're not locked in. You can move and pivot at any time. And now open up the left knee to the left as you extend your right arm out to the right and take your gaze to the right. And we'll hold that up. And then bring that knee back around to the front. Keep the leg up, bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center, and then extend the leg out behind you. And as you're here, again, bring your shoulders down your back. You want to have a quality of up dog, so you're not collapsing. Lift yourself. Keep yourself lifted. Stay out of locking your knee. Stay here, or if you expand, bringing your right hand down to the mat as the left hand extends up towards the ceiling for half moon. We'll hold it up for 3, 2, 1, and release. And we rise back up to stand. We'll take our last standing balance posture. Next up is tree pose. So bringing your hands down alongside you once again, starting with the right foot. Now you can set your right foot up right at your left ankle. You can set it up, on your left inner lower leg, or you can bring it up above your knee. So I would always say above or below the knee, but not on your knee, wherever you are. I've given you a few options, so get into the space where you fit in, always leaving yourself room for expansion. Bring your hands together, prayer position at heart center. As we set up for tree pose. And tree is one of my favorites because it just shows us that from fertilizer, from poop, refuse, that we can grow into something strong, durable, beautiful, and that bears fruits. And I'm so inspired by that. And so let tree be your inspiration as you extend your arms up towards the sky, and you can separate your hands, taking an expression of tree pose here, thinking of your arms as branches, allowing the wind to move around you. Again, in a state of grace, allowing yourself to just be and then release. Bring your hands together, prayer position, release your right foot. If you came out and had to get back in a couple times, amazing. Let's go to the next side. Set up your left foot at your ankle or again, above or below the knee. And so your standing leg, your muscles are engaged. That's what keeps your foot in place, in addition to whatever type of fabric you might be wearing. But that muscle engagement is locking your foot into place. Bringing your hands together, prayer position at heart center. I'm going to let you take this tree where you need it to go tonight. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you expand into some version of what you need right now. And so let's take 3 breaths and you take your expression of tree pose wherever you need it to go. Take one more big breath in and exhale as you release. And bringing your feet back together, we'll dive back into the river of flow as we make our way down to the floor. Inhale your hands up to the sky, look up. Exhale as you bow low, release. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. And exhale as you bend forward. Step your left foot back. So your right foot is facing forward, drop your left heel, and then rise up to stand. So your right foot is facing north and your left foot is facing the outer edge of your mat. Your feet are perpendicular. Extend your arms out in either direction. Turn your gaze towards your right fingertips and we'll take warrior 2. Bend your front knee and think about your right knee moving towards the outer edge of the mat. So you don't want it to collapse in. You want to keep it moving out. Your back leg is engaged. Think about your thigh muscles wrapping around your thigh bone all the way down to the outer edge of your foot as you take a powerful warrior 2 pose. Set your gaze towards your right fingertips. Yeah, and then straighten your front leg as we go for triangle pose. Now hinge forward at the waist, bringing your right hand down to your right ankle and extending your left arm up towards the sky as you twist slightly to look up towards your left hand for triangle pose. Taking one more breath and exhale. Inhale as you rise up to stand. Facing the outer edge of your mat, now turn your right foot so both feet are facing the side of your mat. And we'll take a side-facing forward fold. As you're standing, inhale as you roll your shoulders back. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you bow forward. Bring your hands onto your low back. Slowly bend forward, drop your head. You can bend your knees slightly and release your hands down to the floor. And I invite you right now to let go of something, anything that you can get rid of right now. If it was a horrible day, if it was taking something personal, if it's something negative that you've been saying about yourself, I invite you right now in this forward fold to let that be. Just drop it, let it go. And bringing your hands onto your low back. Again, roll your shoulders back, come up to a flat back position. Extend your left hand down to the floor as you twist to the right and extend your right hand up to the ceiling, twisting to look up towards your right hand. Gently, gently, and then release. And then switch. So right hand comes onto the mat, and now we're going to twist to the left. Left hand extends up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze up towards your left hand. And then release, bow forward. Bring your hands onto your low back. And on your next inhale, slowly rise up to stand. Roll your shoulders back. And turn your right foot to face the top of the mat. So we'll switch up now and go to the opposite side. This time we're going to step the right foot back. Left foot is facing forward. The right foot is now going to face the outer edge of your mat. So we've taken it on one side, and you can kind of determine if you want to change the length between your legs. Left foot is facing forward. Right foot is facing out towards the side of the mat. Bend your left knee. Left knee moving towards the outer edge of the mat. Extend your arms in either direction and take your gaze to your left fingertips for warrior two. Yeah, bring your shoulder blades back, open your chest. And inhale as you straighten your front leg. And exhale as you hinge forward at the waist for triangle pose. Left hand comes down to your left ankle. Right hand extends up towards the ceiling as you gently twist to look up towards your right hand. Take 2 more breaths. Breathe in and exhale. Once more, breathe in and exhale. And on your next inhale, we'll rise up to stand as if someone were pulling you up on your right hand. And let's take a forward fold on this side to match what we did on the opposite side. This time, bringing your hands, interlace your fingers at your low back, roll your shoulders back, take your gaze up towards the sky, and exhale as you bow forward. You can keep your hands at your low back or go ahead and rise your arms up behind you, bend your knees so you can sink deeper into the forward fold. Let your head hang, and you can shake your head from side to side or up and down. And then release your hands onto your low back. If you bent your knees, you can straighten them slightly. And on your next inhale, we'll rise up to stand. Turning your left foot forward, step forward with the right foot. And let's make our way down onto the mat as we inhale. Rise your arms up to the sky, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands onto the mat, and you can walk, step, get yourself into a high plank position. You can bring your knees onto the mat, and let's make our way all the way down onto the floor. So come on down onto your mat, lie on your stomach, and you can turn your right cheek to rest on the mat. Let your arms rest alongside you, palms facing up. And we'll take 2 breaths here. Just allowing yourself to completely relax on the mat. 1 more breath. Exhale. And now bring your gaze to the center. So your right cheek is on the mat. Now you're going to look to the floor, which means your head is slightly lifted. And now bend your right knee. And if it's available for you, catch on to your right foot as you extend your left arm overhead. So I'm still looking at the floor. I'm setting up for this, which is a back bend. We'll do one side at a time. And so now we're going to begin to lift. Lift up through your head, lift your shoulders, kick your foot back into your hand as you lift up ever so slightly off of the mat. And then release down. So you can release your foot, release your hands, bend both knees, let your knees windshield wipe from side to side to release your low back. And then we'll set up to do the next side. So bringing your right leg flat on the floor. With your left hand, you're going to reach back and grab for your left foot. Your gaze is towards the floor. Extend your right hand up overhead. And we'll begin to lift through our head, our shoulders, kicking the left foot into your left hand and extending the right hand forward. And then release. Bring your hands back alongside you. Bend both knees. Windshield wipe them from side to side. And so I'll invite you here to either do what we just did before, or you can grab onto both ankles and we'll take bow pose. So with your gaze to the floor, lift your head and shoulders, kick your feet into your hands, or bow pose. And keep your gaze down and then release. Again, turn your right cheek to the mat. Windshield wipe your knees from side to side to release your low back. And release your legs down to the mat. Now let's come back into our child's pose. So bringing your hands right beneath your shoulders. We're going to press up, upward facing dog. Bend your knees. Take your hips back towards your heels. Child's pose. 3 breaths. And child's pose teaches us that wherever we are in the practice, we can always take a rest and still be in the flow with our breath. So coming up onto all fours, let's make our way to a seated position. So come on to your bum, extend your legs out in front of you. And then we'll make our way down onto our back as we approach the end of the practice. Coming onto your back, you'll turn sideways. And as you're lying flat on your back on the mat, bring your knees in towards your chest. So you're going to bring your knees in for a hug, keeping your tailbone connected to the mat. So you don't want to lift them up too much, but tailbone connected, knees bent. You can bring your hands onto your knees. And you can rock from side to side to give your back a massage using the floor. Just rocking from side to side. And I invite you to stay here, or if there's more and you want to take more of an opening while you're down here on the floor, you can separate your knees, bring your knees apart so the knees are on the outer edges of your body. You can keep your hands on your knees, or you can take your peace fingers to your big toes. And this is known as the happy baby pose. And as adults, we never get to get treated like a happy baby. So I invite you tonight to be a happy baby as you rock yourself and soothe yourself, rocking from side to side, opening your hips, massaging out your low back. And this always puts a little smile on my face. I don't know why, but I like this one. And then releasing. So release your fingers from your toes, bring your knees down, your feet onto the mat, pardon me. And then we'll move on. So bringing your right foot up onto your left knee, and then threading your right hand in between your legs. Your left hand is on the outside, bringing your left knee in towards your chest, and you can grab onto the back of that left thigh to hold it, or you can interlace your fingers behind your left knee. And so you'll feel this hip opening on the right side. And to bring a little more ab engagement, you can lift your head off of the mat, which causes you to engage your abs. And if you've lifted your head and shoulders, release them down to the floor. You can release your hands. And let's switch sides. Releasing the right foot. Now we bring the left foot up onto the right knee. And again, bringing the right knee in towards your chest, threading the left hand through the center, right hand on the outside. You can grab the back of your right thigh or interlace your fingers behind your right knee. And breathe into the opening, the new space that you're creating. This practice is just moving your body on different planes, creating space, and then just breathing into taking that opening, being with the sensation as opposed to fighting against yourself, fighting against your own body. It's a being with yourself, what you're experiencing, and then release. And so we'll move from that into our bridge pose. So with your feet together, extend your arms alongside you and let your fingertips extend towards your heels. So as your feet are together, your legs are together, and we're going to take a bridge pose, pressing your hips up towards the sky. And as you lift your hips, press down into your feet, lift your chest, walk your shoulders in, and see if you can interlace your fingers underneath of you as you press your hips up. And if you're holding in your bum cheeks, release them. Let your legs do the work. So many of us will be clenching our glutes together, but release them. Stay in your legs for 3, 2, 1. And if you've interlaced your fingers under you, release them. Open up your shoulders. Release your hips to the floor, and you can rock your knees from side to side. Windshield wipe to release your low back. And let's take one more bridge pose so you know where to go this time. Legs and feet together. And as you're ready, rise. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Walk your shoulders in. Interlace your fingers. Perhaps you go to a new place with this bridge. You lift higher. You release your bum. You're in your legs. Maybe you lift your toes to bring about more engagement in your feet, in your legs. Although we've been here before, each time we show up new, different, with new breath, new awareness, new expansion. And release your hands, release your shoulders, bring your hips back down. Windshield wipe your knees from side to side to release your low back. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest, giving them a squeeze. And extending your legs out. So you're going to come flat onto your back. And now we're going to lift up onto our elbows. So coming to rest on your elbows, let your head hang back so you're looking behind you, pointing your toes. And then lifting your cheeks. So you want to stack your hands if it's available to you under your bum cheeks. As you lift, press your hips up towards the sky, let your head go back, and we'll take a big breath in and exhale. And then releasing your hands, walking your elbows out, coming onto your back. And we'll take our final twist as we set up for our Shavasana. So bringing your right knee in towards your chest, giving it a squeeze. And letting your right knee fall over to the left as you extend your right arm out. Left knee moves over towards the right. And you may find that halfway as you're making your way over, you may want to stop and scoot your hips over towards the center of the mat to let that right knee move closer to the floor. But being gentle with yourself, you can bring your left hand to place it on your right knee. Take your gaze towards your right hand. And this is a supine twist. And if you have a degree of flexibility, many things are possible here. You can bend your left knee in, and you can maybe grab onto your left foot as you extend the right foot out. So many things. And as you practice, you can expand into what feels good to you, where there's space for you to grow. And then we'll release. So coming out of the twist, coming onto your back. And let's take it to the other side. So letting your knees now fall over to the right as you bring your right hand onto your left top knee and taking your gaze to the left. Into your
Sis, sorry, we're not hearing you. No. We're still not hearing. I don't know what happened. It's like it disconnected the sound, but it's okay. We're going into Shavasana now. All right, gently roll onto your side, fetal position for a little rest before you get ready to gently rise up in a few moments. Just relax. Feel like you're back in the womb for a moment. Gently, gently, gently rise up back into a seated position. Hands to heart center. We give thanks for this beautiful, beautiful practice. Express your gratitude to yourself, to spirit. So beautiful. To the third eye. I do puedo. I do play. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think you got the sweat award for sure. That's the most I done sweat. Now wait, let's try to figure out what happened with your audio though, because we got to hear your beautiful voice again. I don't know what happened, but you see, I was right in there with you. Yeah, try that and see if it works, because we want to hear from you again before we go. All right, everybody. Ashe fingers. That was so beautiful. Yeah, well, Oyabunmi's gonna pop in and back out and back in to see if we can get her audio back so we can just hear her voice for a last moment. We're so grateful to have spent this time together this evening. Definitely got my sweat on, got my stretch on, opened up space in our bodies. So beautiful. If you have enjoyed the movement tonight, we invite you to send love offerings to Oyabunmi at $OyabunmiD. We give thanks. We're grateful for Iya and her wonderful gifts. Here, you're back. Let's see.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yay! Success,
Okay.
victory.
Ashe, ashe.
Ashe. I'm glad it was just on our last pose.
Yes.
The energy and the ashe and the prana got so high.
Indeed, I do play
My
again.
baby's here with me. We were practicing
Aww.
together tonight.
Awesome. I love it.
Over here. It was so beautiful.
That's why it was a power down, right?
Yes, I love it. I done powered down. I'm gonna be ready for that shower and sleep. So tell us what you have going on over at Vibrantly Transformed right now, yeah?
Yes, everyone. So you can follow me on Instagram at Oyabunmi. I'm on Facebook at OyabunmiD Rosario. You can find me online at www.vibrantlytransform.com. Right now, I'm working on the Self-Love Holiday Retreat, which will be hosted in Senegal in December 2021. So I'm very excited. The original Self-Love Holiday was in Costa Rica, and it was a magnificent experience. But what I found was that as women of color, we need to go home. And so the next level of me sharing my own personal transformation really has to do with my journey with Africa. And so that is my goal. So check me out at vibrantlytransform.com, and you can find out all the details about the Self-Love Holiday Retreat taking place in December. I'm taking deposits. I have a small number of spaces available, so get in. We will be doing yoga every day. We will be touring. It's a private retreat property, oceanfront, horseback riding, tennis, yoga, massage, Reiki.
Yes.
Just an amazing.
You can go ahead and let them know one of them spots is the Afulayos. Minus one.
Also on Vibrantly Transform, you can see my other spiritual health and wellness consulting work. I am a priestess, as Ia shared. I'm a diviner, so you can book a reading with me on my website. Also, I do private yoga, so if this resonated with you and you want more of it, I work with people one-on-one. And I have a program coming up. It's called 40 Days to Personal Transformation, where we'll be using this practice as well as some adjustments to our eating to try to access a deeper level of transformation. So tap in, tune in, stay plugged in. And I do play EF for allowing me to share with the Movement Ministry.
Ashe. Oh, what happened?
Uh-oh.
What was that? Wait, stop. Oh, okay. I'm like a little tech stuff. I'm on a Mac today, which I'm not usually on, and all of that. But see, we keeping it flowing. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for sharing all of that. Y'all drop them love offerings. Go on over to vibrantlytransform.com and check out Iya. Come on with us to Senegal, because I'm gonna be up in there. Give thanks. And we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday for Orisha prayer and meditation. We look forward to seeing you at everything we do here at Ase Ire. We love you. We give thanks for each and every one of you. We give thanks for you, Iya Oyabunmi. And we wish you a beautiful evening. Odabo.
Kaleo.